Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here today, and welcome especially to my subscribers. I'm hoping if you like this video that you'll share it with your friends and they can subscribe and get some new ideas too. So I don't know if you've ever struggled, but sometimes I have a design in my head that really should be a square, but I don't really like making square cards. So my design today, or my card today, I should say, is a square design, but in a rectangle card. So I call it You're Such a Square Design. So I hope you like it. I'm gonna just give you a little sneak peek. This is the card that we're gonna be making, and it opens up. So this major part of the card design is a square. So stay tuned until the very end. I've got a lot of cards. I had fun making them, and I hope that you like them. I'm gonna turn this camera around and we're gonna make this lovely card. Okay, here is the card that we are making today. And we are going to feature a brand new bundle. This is called the Pretty Pumpkins Bundle, and it comes with all of these lovely dies. Can't wait to play with this intricate die here for this pumpkin. I think it is adorable. And look at this pumpkin here. That's great. So I've just started playing with this stamp set, and we're going to be using it today. So I'm going to take off the die that we're going to use. And then we are also going to be using this is the Hippo and Friends dies. This is a great set. Even if you're not into the cute critters, just to have this one for all these different layering sized labels is wonderful. So we're going to be using that. And then we're also going to be using the new Timber 3D embossing folder. This is a great folder. It gives great texture. So you're going to see that when we use that in a little bit. And then for our supplies, we are going to need a strip of heavy or thick, very vanilla cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. We're also going to need a piece of soft suede. This is 4 inches by 5 inches. And then you're going to need some more very vanilla. You don't need the heavyweight for this. I've already cut out my label, but you need a piece that's about 3 1/2 inches square. And then you need a scrap to cut out our pumpkin. So I've got my scrap. As you can see, I've done some cutting out of my labels before, but you're going to need a piece. Oh, it's probably about 2 3/4 by 2 1/2 so that you can do the pumpkins. Then we're also going to need a piece of this ribbon. Isn't this lovely? This is the Diamond Weave ribbon, and this is new in our annual catalog. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my embossing folder, as I'm hitting my lamp, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And I really like these folders because they have this line that's pre-printed, and you can see that right along the bottom. It really helps to keep this all lined up. So I'm going to take this over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and I'm just going to open this up, and you can see this beautiful texture. All right, so this is, we started out at 4 by 5, and we need to cut 1 inch of it off. So I'm going to put this in my little mini cutter, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut 1 inch off. So we're going to need those 2 pieces. Now, for our basic card, we are starting with the long version. Most of the time when I do cards, I have it the short way. So here we need to use our cutter here, our trimmer, and we are going to do some scoring. So the first score I'm going to do is at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to give that a good press, and then I'm going to score it again at 5 1/2. So get that out of the way. So now you see I've got one here. So this is, it's hard to tell on this light. This is your halfway point. So we're just going to go ahead and turn that over, and I'm going to give it a good press here. And then this is the card front. I'm going to fold back and give that a good press. So that is going to leave you with a 4 1/4 inch area to do your design. So we've already got these 2 pieces, and we're just going to go ahead and stick those down. And this is beautiful because this embossing folder, you can do it on either side, and because it is embossed, I like to give it just a little extra. And I always do it upside down. I don't know why, but I think it's easier for me to see my edges on my outside corners than it is in the middle. And make sure that that is good and down, because of that heavy embossing, sometimes it gets a little bit wavy. And then I'm going to take this remaining piece here and we're going to add this to the panel on the left. So this is going to be our same basic layout for all the cards I'm going to show you today. You're going to have a 4x4 piece on this side, if you have one at all, and then you're going to have a 1" by 4 over here. So now we're going to add our little bit of decoration. I'm going to use this on the side. So whenever I'm using ribbon, I like to use our Seal Plus. It is super duper strong, and it really is great for holding down the ribbon. Oops, I got a little off track here. Stuff that tape runner there. So I'm just going to use the regular seal. I'll have to get that fixed. Anyway, so now I have my adhesive there, and we are just going to place this in the center of that panel, and I'm just going to wrap it around to this adhesive. And then I'm going to add some more glue, and we're going to glue this panel shut. Put a little bit extra there. Hold that down so it gets nice and stuck. And so now we have a card that's essentially a square design area. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to stamp our pumpkins. So for that, I'm going to be using Memento black ink, because I'm going to color them with blends. And I just got ink on my finger. So I'm going to stamp this down. And that looks great. So now to color this, I am going to be using my blends. So I've got some soft suede, both light and dark. I've got pumpkin pie and old olive. So I'm going to start coloring those. And then I am also going to be using my Stampin' Up marker. Now you can get the black one of these individually, but for the color families, they do come as a color family. But I'd like using this because it has a very fine tip, and that is good for coloring the little swirly things. So I'm going to just start coloring, and I will probably speed this up so that you don't have to watch all the time that it's going to take to color it. It doesn't really take a lot of time, but I am just going to go ahead and get my basic color down, and then I am going to keep coloring. So right now, as you see, I'm just adding some more of the light, and I'm just blending in that darker pumpkin that I have added. It gives it a little bit more texture and makes it a little bit more realistic. I am just about finished coloring in these leaves. I'm just blending in that darker of the old olive that I added to these leaves. And then the last thing I want to do is add my Stampin' Up marker. This also has a fine tip and a fine tip here and a broader tip here. And I'm just going to color these fine little tendrils with this tiny, tiny end of the marker. There. All right, so now I can take this die that I have right here, and I'm gonna go cut this out, and I will be right back. Okay, so now I am back, and there I have my pumpkins cut out. So I'm just gonna move these out of the way. And then we have our label. So what I thought with this is we would want to put some ground. So I'm gonna put some scrap paper here, and I'm gonna take my soft suede markers because we don't want our pumpkins floating. So I'm just gonna take my broad tip end, and I'm just gonna go right across. Just put some sweeps of color on here, and then I'm gonna put a few of the darker color just to give it more of a wood grain kind of a texture. All right, and now we need to stamp our greeting. So for this, I have So Thankful for You, and I have my pumpkin pie. So let's open that up, and we are going to stamp that right up in the upper corner. That looks fabulous, and we are done with that. So then I'll get rid of my scrap paper, and we're ready to add our pumpkins. So they're gonna go right down here, and I thought it would be fun to pop those up. So we're gonna get out, look at this, a brand new sheet of dimensionals. So we're gonna add some of our dimensionals. I think I'm gonna add one more here. And I just wanna make sure that this one is not too far off. I think we can add one right there. All right, peel off these backs. And then we're gonna position that on our label. Okay. Okay, and then I think this needs to be popped up onto our card. So we're gonna add some more. Okay, get those out of the way. So this is just gonna go right in the center of our design. Move that stamp pad out of the way. Actually, I think before I do that, I wanna do one more thing. So I'm gonna grab my silicone sheet, and I think this could use some spritzing. So this is my soft suede Stampin' Right marker. And I think I am just going to flick a few times on there. Oh, I think that just really works with that wood grain texture. All right, bring this back. And I'm just going to stick that right there in the middle. And there you have it. It's a beautiful square design in a rectangle card, because if you mail square cards in a square envelope, it costs you more postage. And I really don't like having a square card float around in a rectangle envelope. So this is a really great solution. So now, and actually what I did on the inside, I'll just show you so you can see how I finished it off. If friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. So there is that card. Now I'm going to show you some other ideas. All right, so for this next card, I used our crinkle ribbon, and I tied that around and used it as a bow. And then I did not decorate at all here with paper. I just did my design, and I cut it in a square, and then I used my layering squares to have the scalloped border. So there is the Thinking of You card that I made. And then my next card, I did use a retired set. This wreath we had last year, I loved it, and I thought it went beautiful with this paper, which happens to be paper that you can get for free during celebration. So that is a great thing. And all I did here is I took a ribbon, and this is in our new holiday catalog, and this is kind of a crinkle edge to it. I tied a knot, put it around here, and I did not put any paper. I just used my card base. So this one, I just put my decorative paper here on the edge where it's stuck down and nothing in the main part, and this was just the vice versa, nothing over here, and my decorative designer series paper there. So that is that card. Oh, my next one is really pretty. So this one is not squares but circles, which obviously can fit into a square, and I did not use any ribbon at all. I just used this beautiful paper, and then I picked out the colors from this paper, which is great, and I just used layers and layers and layers of this new die. This is encircled in Friendship, I think. I can't remember for sure, but it looks lovely, and I pulled out all the colors and layered them up, and then that's how I finished that card. Now my next card, I took and I used another one of our new dies, and I took this paper. It's a little bit narrower than the 1 inch, so it's almost 3/4, maybe 7/8. It kind of depends on how much of a gap that you want. And I used one of our new borders to cut the zigzag, and then I decorated this and I embossed my tree. I thought that came out lovely, and I used those that same zigzag to decorate the inside of this card. And then my last one is a Christmas card. This is all from our new catalog. This is beautiful paper. And then I used the linen thread to tie my bow on this one. It gave it a really earthy tone. It looked beautiful with this paper. And then this paper here, which you see is so pretty. This is also some 6x6 paper that you can get for free during celebration. So I haven't decorated the inside of that one. But anyway, I hope that these have inspired you. I am going to have all of the products needed to make this beautiful card in the comments of my YouTube video, as well as my blog, which is moreofacard. Blogspot. I can't remember my card. Or my, it's the powerofacard.blogspot.com. Anyway, I will have the link in there. So please give me a thumbs up and share this with your friends. It does help me to grow my business. And if you need any of these supplies, you can get them directly from my online store. Thank you so much for watching.